Lesson 48 of A Course in Miracles. It's a shorty but a goodie, and it's maybe the only one that you ever will need ever if you take it to heart. Here we go. There is nothing to fear. There is nothing to fear. Let's read it. Paragraph by paragraph. There's three short but sweet paragraphs. Number 1, the idea for today simply states a fact. It is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It is very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize it for those who want illusions to be true. Paragraph 2. Today's practice periods will be very short, very simple, and very frequent. Merely repeat the idea as often as possible. You can use it with your eyes open at any time and in any situation. It is strongly recommended, however, that you take a minute or so whenever possible to close your eyes and repeat the idea slowly to yourself several times. It is particularly important that you use the idea immediately should anything disturb your peace of mind. Paragraph 3. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. The awareness that there is nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, though not necessarily in a place you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let His strength take the place of your weakness. The instant you are willing to do this, there is indeed nothing to fear. End of story. Full stop. There is nothing to fear. Let's go through it paragraph by paragraph. Number 1. The idea for today simply states a fact. It is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. So the only true fact, Nietzsche once said, there are no facts, there are only interpretations. I don't know what it was in the original German. Maybe it wasn't exactly that quote, but it was something like that. There are no facts, there are only interpretations of said facts. Jesus is here saying there is a fact. There is a fact, Jack. And that fact is reality, your reality. That is a fact. That is not anything that you can quibble over or debate or dispute. That's indisputable. So the idea for today simply states a fact. There's nothing to fear in reality, right? That you might add that, there's nothing to fear in reality, or there's nothing to fear in truth. I think it was FDR who said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself, or was it JFK? I don't remember. But we have nothing to fear but fear itself. But fear itself is not anything to be feared either, right? Because fear is nothing. Jesus tells us again and again that fear is nothing. I once put it, in the cosmic game, the score of the game is still the same. Fear nothing, love one. Right? Fear is nothing, love one. Love didn't win because love, there was no game to begin with. There was only, within the illusion, there may have been a game, but in reality, there was no game. There's only the fact of existence, the ground of existence. So it is not a fact to those who believe in illusions, but illusions are not facts. In truth, there is nothing to fear, right? So there's nothing to fear in truth. In truth, there is nothing to fear. It's very easy to recognize this, but it is very difficult to recognize it for those who want illusions to be true. So as long as we want the illusion to be true, and all of us do on some level or another, otherwise, Jesus tells us we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be in suffering, any kind of suffering, or any kind of need to know kind of situation, if we did not want the illusion to be true. Right? We want the illusion to be true on some level. That's what got us here in the first place. And now we're being invited to want only the truth to be true and not the illusion to be true. And the truth is there's nothing to fear. Paragraph 2, today's practice periods will be very short, very simple, and very frequent. So you use it all throughout the day. Merely repeat the idea as often as possible. You can use it with your eyes open at any time and in any situation. It is strongly recommended, however, that you take a minute or so whenever possible to close your eyes and repeat the idea slowly to yourself several times. So you repeat it slowly and you think about it, what you're saying and what it means. You don't just say it mindlessly, but you think about it. It is particularly important that you use the idea immediately should anything disturb your peace of mind. So you remind yourself there is nothing to fear. In truth. But the thing is, the problem is that we're like, yeah, there's stuff to fear. I mean, I'm feeling fear. What am I supposed to deny that I'm feeling fear? No, you're supposed to not deny it, but observe it and remember the truth, which is anything that you feel that feels like a threat, feels like it is going to harm you, or feels fearful, is only because you have misidentified, right? You are identifying with your false self. You're identifying with your body, your personality, your little life in this body, and you're not identifying with your true self, which is everything, which is the all in all. So as long as you're identifying with the ego personality, yes, you will feel fear and you will suffer. And this is a practice. This is something, this is not, as Jesus says, it's difficult for those of us who are very entrenched in the illusion. It's very difficult. It takes a little willingness, but the little willingness will become a great willingness. Paragraph 3. The presence of fear is a sure sign that you are trusting in your own strength. And that was from yesterday. God is the strength in which I trust. That was the point of that lesson, that we trust in God's strength, not our own strength, not in the ego, but we trust in the strength of God. The awareness that there is nothing to fear shows that somewhere in your mind, though not necessarily in a place you recognize as yet, you have remembered God and let his strength take the place of your weakness. So there is a place within all of us that Jesus here in the Course calls the Holy Spirit, and that place is where the remembrance of God is still there. The remembrance of God is still shining, right? And calling you back home again, back to your true reality. You have remembered God and let his strength take the place of your weakness. The instant you are willing to do this, there is indeed nothing to fear. And the word instant, is a reminder of the holy instant, the idea of the holy instant. Because in that instant, you are free. And it may only last an instant. It may be a moment where you just remember, and you remember everything's perfect. I have absolutely nothing to fear. Everything is in divine perfect order. Even if it does not look like that, it certainly is. And there's absolutely nothing to fear. And I can stand in that power. I can stand in that strength. And I can be a light to others as well in my standing in that strength, and in that knowing that there truly is nothing to fear. This is such a hard thing to do and to remember. and don't forget that the whole Course is the undoing of fear, the detour out of fear, as Jesus puts it, right? We were detoured into fear, And the fear is a symbol of the ego, right? The ego is based in fear. It's all of our fear-based thoughts and fear-based thinking. That is the ego. And so the way out is through, as they say, is the way the way out is through, right? The way out is through identifying the source of the problem, which is the fear, and recognizing that the fear is not real, right? False fear, false evidence appearing real. It also could be fear everything and run, or fear everything and rise, right? So fear is face everything and run, or face everything and run, or face everything and rise. So fear, as Jesus keeps reminding us, seems very real on this side of the veil. It seems very real from where we are, but in reality, fear has no existence whatsoever, because at the very beginning of the Course, Jesus said, what is all-encompassing can have no opposite, right? In this world, love and fear are opposites, but in reality, love is the only reality. And fear is not even a thing. Fear is non-existent, because there is no duality anymore, right? Fear and love are opposites, that's duality. In this world, the world of duality. But in the world of reality, there can only be one, right? And love is all, and fear is not even a thing. Forgiveness is not even a thing. And all the other F words are not even a thing, right? There is only that perfect wholeness, perfect oneness, perfect love. It even goes beyond unconditional love, because that's a concept that of this world, unconditional love. Love, by definition, is unconditional, so you don't even have to say unconditional love. You just say love, and you don't even have to say love, because love itself is just a word that's pointing to a reality. And love is maybe the greatest word, even maybe greater than God, to point to that reality. So we talk about the love of God, that God is love and love is God. And it's, but for us, it is very helpful to think of in terms of God, not just love, because we need to think of, first of all, most of us have a problem with God. We think of God in unloving ways, like that God is going to get us, that God is vengeful and wrathful and judging, and will punish us for our sins if we do not do the right thing. So we need to correct our concept of God, and that's what the Course is here to help us to do. And the Course is coming to remind us that God is only love. Not that God is love, but God is only love, right? God is perfect love. Perfect love means there can be nothing else, right? It's not like there's love and a little bit of hate and a little bit of, sending the sinners to hell for eternity. No, that's not possible. That is not love. Love is, and this is something we could talk about. We have the idea of, I know I'm rambling here, but hear me out here. We have this idea of tough love, right? That sometimes you need to be tough in order to be loving. You got to be cruel to be kind. But but what the Course is saying is that there is no cruelty in God, and therefore there is none in me. You do not need to be cruel to be kind. And it's cool to be kind. And it's the only thing to do, really. kindness goes hand in hand with forgiveness, compassion, right? And that's where we're all headed. And we can apply that to all of our relationships and recognize that we do not need to fear anything, and we can be completely loving in our loving self always. And we will be living a life of joy and wonder and peace and abundance. And we will help others to do the same. So thank you for listening. And man, I really milked that one for all it was worth. I was like, okay, good. I got a short one today. Lesson 49 is next. God's voice speaks to me all throughout the day. We'll see you soon for that one. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.